Hello everyone, what's up? It's me again, Junkmaster3, and it's time for yet another horror review video. I'm not really sure when this particular video is going to be uploaded or not, but we'll see eventually. But in today's video, I'm going to make a review of the horror film called The Pool from the early 2000s. Now, this came out in 2001, I believe, and this is a slasher film. And for those of you who know me, slasher is my favorite type of like subgenre within the horror genre. But this film is basically about a couple of people, like a couple of friends. They are vacationing, not vacationing in, but I believe they're like studying in some sort of like high school, but kind of like high school or like exams things in. I think it's supposed to be Czech Republic, and I believe that's also where the film was made. Because apparently this is like a U.S. German co-production, but it was shot in the Czech Republic, I believe. I could be totally wrong about that, but that's just what I've gathered, like the information. So if that's incorrect, I'm sorry that I gave the wrong information. But it's about these group of I think they're supposed to be teenagers or like in their late teens or like early 20s or something, but they're going out to have a good time, basically to have a party, and they decide to get into this building, where they have all these type of pools and whatever, or like sort of like a spa type thing. So they get in there, and obviously they get locked in, and there's a killer on the loose, like trying to kill them off one by one. Now there is also like an opening sequence as well with this killer, and I believe that's supposed to be in the U.S. So he's already killed someone in the U.S. as well. So yeah, but you do get some background or like some background information about that later on in the film. But that's pretty much like the premise, that you have all these like these youngsters basically in this pool area, and they get locked in, and yeah, the killer is after them basically. Now I'm gonna leave it at that because I don't really feel like I need to say anything else. But the premise is really cool. I mean, it's really nice to see like a slasher in a different type of location, because I don't think I've ever seen a slasher taking place inside of this type of facility before. But yeah, and as for the characters, sometimes they can be really annoying and really like irritating when it comes to slasher films. In this case, I thought they were actually average and quite good. I'm not saying all of them are like amazing or anything like that, and it's a little bit strange as well because I can totally. I mean, some of them have very strange accents, but I believe that like some of them might be German, uh, and they probably have that type of weird accent, like the German English accent. So that kind of threw me off a little bit, because I think they were meant to be Americans, which is a little bit strange. But that is just like a minor thing, and I don't really blame the actors for that or anything like that. That's just their typical accent. But also, I would say the killer himself, the look of the killer is really cool as well. He's having this weird like skull type mask on him. I mean, he kind of looks like a skull type mask, and he's armed with a machete. And that's also one thing that I wanted to say, that if you look for a slasher film, you want some really entertaining death scenes, and this one I would say really delivered, and was really surprised by this because I've heard some bad things about this one before, but I always go into like with an open mind because I want to judge for myself whenever I watch a film. But I mean, if you like blood and gore effects and stuff like that, or like slasher films in general, go check this one out, because this one really delivers in that aspect. So just the fact that this takes place in this like pool facility, and the fact that the killer looks really great, and the kills are really memorable, it's really cool. And I think it's very tense as well because you don't really know who the killer is, and I would say it's also very tense as to like, oh, is this person gonna make it out, or is that person gonna uh, uh, pass away or like get killed basically. Pass away, that sounds strange. You get killed in slasher films, god, come on. But anyway, also I would say the only two actors I recognized in this one was James McAvoy, I believe, which I think this might have been one of his earliest roles. I can be totally wrong about that, but and I also recognized the cop character in this one because he's played by Jan Vlasak, I believe his name is. Let's see, I'm just gonna double check on that. Jan Vlasak. I probably butchered like the pronunciation, but the reason why I recognized him is because he was also that evil spoilers, that evil businessman in the first Hostel film. So I did recognize him as well. But those were the only two actors that I've known about before or anything like that. So, but like I said, great blood, great gore effects, really fun looking, not fun looking, but really cool looking killer. Uh, Interesting death scenes, nice like location as well. Some of the music is a little bit like, I feel it's like one of those things that I can totally see people like, oh, I despise that, but it's sort of like it has that like early 2000s, like late 90s charm to it. It's not like my typical type of music that I usually listen to, but it's like, oh, it's still good for what it is. Camera work I thought was really great and really good as well, and the lighting, like the whole blue type of colors, like just blending in with the pool area, I thought that was really cool as well. And what else can I comment about? I think that's about it. So if you go into this film expecting like a masterpiece, you're probably looking for the wrong type of film. But if you are into slasher films in general and you haven't seen this one, I can highly recommend this one. This one really surprised me. But then again, like I said before, slashers is my favorite subgenre within the horror genre, so keep that in mind. So for those of you who like your horror films but you don't care too much for slashers, might as well try to find another better slasher at that, and if that's the case. But this one I really enjoyed in general, so I'm ready to give The Pool a 7 out of 10. Really entertaining and really fun. And I think I have seen some images of the killer before somewhere, but I wasn't really aware of what type of film that was. So I'm really glad that I finally discovered him in this film. But yeah, The Pool, 7 out of 10. Really entertaining for a slasher film from the early 2000s. I mean, sometimes those type of films can be either they are just so bad they're good, or they're just absolutely terrible, or they're actually really entertaining. So, and this fell in the really entertaining category. So, yeah. So yeah, there we have it. That's my review for the horror film The Pool from the early 2000s. I do believe there's also a sequel to this one, but it seems to be very obscure. I'm not really sure if that even had like an official release or not, but and I have no idea if that has any connection to the first one. So we'll see if I ever find that one somewhere. But hope you enjoyed this particular review, and see you in the next video. So see you then. Bye bye.